Hey, good evening. It's late on Wednesday, and I should have done a video by now, but I have been running my tail off, getting people visits, getting stuff ready for the trip, getting trips to the doctor. I got a flu shot this afternoon, and getting orders off because I've got a few of those. But just when I thought I had nothing to show you, I had a little boo-boo. This is why you should probably put caps on your work before you shove it in a bag. I have carefully picked up about 4 rows of work that came unraveled on my cowl. And you're going to get to see how to unravel back to a lifeline. Now, I have a couple of things to say. I'm going to admit this. I don't commonly use lifelines. I'm advanced enough that I sometimes don't use them. I am really glad I have a lifeline on this right now because I need it. Now, I could knit back 1 stitch at a time, and I'll show you how I would do that too. 1 row at a time until I got back to where the mistake or to where my last drop stitch happened. I am not very good at picking up dropped stitches when it comes to lace. 9 times out of 10, I'll mess it up. I'll make some yarn over look goofy, and then it'll drive me nuts for the rest of the project. So I usually rip back until I'm at a place where I'm satisfied that my work is fine. In this instance, there are only 2 rows above the boo-boo, where the falling off of my needles happened, that are not impacted by this mistake. So 2 rows after the lifeline, I would have to knit back. I was almost through another repeat, so I'd have to knit back carefully 1 stitch at a time, 6 rows. Instead, I am going to take my needles out, and I am just going to rip back to the lifeline. All right, this is the disaster that is me stuffing my needles into my purse and letting them slip out. Now, I love a good metal needle, but it's a fast knitter, and the hazard of that is dropping stitches can happen quite easily. The other risk that I took is that this is Tencel and it's a slippery yarn. So now I've got slippery needles and a slippery yarn, and I am paying the consequence for that. Just a pair of needle caps on this, or even a rubber band, or a cork, or anything would have saved me. Instead, I am going to take my needle out, and my stitch markers are going to come out with it, which is why, well, one, to help you see this, I'm going to zoom out a little bit, to help you see this, but also so that my stitch markers don't go flying. Around and around I go. Now, what I'm going to have to do is take these needles out, rip back, and wind the ball up to my lifeline, and then I'm going to, right next to the lifeline, put my needles back in. So it's not, it's not payment free, this. The decision that I had to make was, this is a little bit longer cable than I really needed either, too. The decision I made, though, for this is that it is more work to tink back or knit backwards and do this 1 stitch at a time than this operation is going to be. All right, all the newly loaded stitch markers are in. My needles have been taken out and set aside, and there's all my stitch markers sitting. I think one fell on the floor. Yes, it did. Here are the 2 culprits that fell out when I was being sloppy. And I'm going to grab my ball of yarn, which is secure in the bag, unlike the knitting. So there's my ball of yarn. I'm going to start winding it. Just winding it up and ripping out my work to the lifeline. Let's get this here. It's also twisted up because I was sloppily throwing this into my, oh, and there's my round marker, which probably also fell off. So we're going to wind this up. and untangle it, because it clearly is quite a tangled mess. This is what I get for carrying my knitting around in my bag and not getting it out very often this last couple of weeks. And the reason was a crochet pattern project that I had to fix that I struggled a bit with. But it's fixed now, and I'm back on target with this this project. There we go. There we go. Okay, we're back to the tearing out section now. Okay, I'm just gonna rip it around. Here it goes, around and around and around and around. Ripping it back. Week's worth of work down the toilet. But that's knitting. That happens. There we go. We're just about there. One more round. I just took a close-up look at it. 2 more rounds. And why am I not more concerned? Because this piece of yarn is right through the stitches, so they're safe. Okay, I'm around. It stopped me. All right, here we are. It's all undone, and you can see there's my stitches for my last row. Now, just like I had to feed the yarn through when I installed this Lifeline, now it's time for me to feed the needles through. So I'm going to go in and pick them all up one at a time. Something I want to do first, though, is let's put my stitch markers on as I go. I still can't fix the error I made in the putting the Lifeline through the stitch markers, but I can do this. Now, this week I was supposed to show you how to use a needle that self-installs a Lifeline, but I didn't accomplish that. I was hoping to get through one more repeat before I'm going to skip over that one, but I'm going to put a stitch marker in. So that should go in now. Skipping over this guy, picking up the next stitch. We'll go 10 more, because it's 10 stitches between each stitch marker. Just making sure that's all right there. Another stitch marker. Come on. There. All right, I'm going to carry on doing this. Putting a stitch marker in every 10 stitches, going back around just exactly like I did when I installed this Lifeline. And I'm going to put my needles back in, and I'm going to start again. This is exactly how you fully use your Lifeline to its best advantage. All right, I got one last thing to show you besides the mess. Can you see my little bit of a mess there? That's stitch markers back there that need to be packed up. And then there's a little bit of an art project going over here. But I wanted to show you one more thing before we leave today, and that is, what would this cowl look like if you had just used a wool fingering weight yarn? And this is an example of that. This is the large cowl out of fingering weight yarn. It's just a plain navy blue, I think it's an 80-20 wool, and you get a nice big cowl that you can wrap twice. And it's a nice, warm, woolly winter. And in fact, I may very well take this on my cruise this trip to keep my neck warm. I'm also going to take this lace because I'll finish it on the trip. But there you go. The Forsythia cowl, ready for winter, for summer, and for mistakes. So we got to use our Lifeline tonight. Upcoming weeks, I'm going to keep working on the repeats. I'm going to show you how to install a Lifeline when you have the holes on your needles. And believe me, folks, it's worth it, those holes. Somebody asked me, how do you avoid picking up the stitch markers when you're doing the auto Lifeline? I'll show you that. And then I'm going to give you a little sneak peek because I've been thinking about what next. And I figure since you guys are finishing advanced lace knitting, that we should do, or that you're doing beginning lace knitting, that we should perhaps think about a more advanced project. And I happen to have a couple of friends and customers, both, who have just finished the Rosita shawl. And there is no reason why you will not have the skills to finish this shawl for a second project. So this is one of my favorite to wear shawls. It's very scrumptious. This is out of the PCC yarn. It comes, I happen to have the kit because I'm getting ready to do it. It comes in a kit like this. There's white and there's off-white you can make. And this is a really good pattern. It's a little Shetlandy. It's a modern take on Shetland style. So this is going to be the next project we start in the Lace Knit Along. We might be able to start it before I get back from my trip, but we will definitely, I'm kind of holding off because I figure there'll be lots of content while I'm traveling. Remember, I leave Saturday for the UK to visit David's mother. We're going to do a little side trip up to York. We're going to do another trip to Manchester. Then we fly to Oslo, Sweden, get on a plane, go to Svalbard. Then from Svalbard to an island that only has nature on it. Then we go to the Faroe Islands. From the Faroe Islands to Iceland, the north side. And then from Iceland to the Shetland Islands and back to Bergen. So I'll have lots of content, hopefully, to show you. I've also not uploaded all of my content that I had from Boston and that trip. So I also have Breakers. I don't believe I've uploaded that content for you to show you the inside of Breakers from Newport, Rhode Island. So hang tight. I know I missed on Saturday. I was frankly very exhausted. The trip caught up with me. I've also kind of had some allergy issues. When I get allergies, I get achy and really tired. So that's been happening. And then I went and got a flu shot today and my arm already hurts. So, yay. But we're getting ready for Saturday and we're going to try and be as germ illness free as possible when we get to David's mother's house. Remember, she's battling cancer, but we're getting there right before her final chemo, but it will be the best time period in that chemo. So we're going to do our best. We're wearing masks the whole way, the whole deal. So anyway, I hope this finds you in a good spot. I hope you guys are ahead of me in your lace knitting project because I had to back it up. Now, I have some quality time on the plane coming up. So I am planning on cranking through this for you as I travel on Saturday, if not before then. I'm going to try and get a couple of videos just ready for you so that when I'm traveling and I have jet lag, I won't miss anything, even though I have in the last week for you guys. And yes, I know it's been 4 weeks. My friend Ilian told me it's been 4 weeks since I uploaded anything to Unfinished Projects. I actually have content now because I did just finish an unfinished thing. And I've been working on a second unfinished thing. Oh, excuse me, it's late. But I'm doing my best to try and get some content up there. It's been a really hard week. But I'll get that up for you. It's been a really hard 4 weeks for Unfinished. Too many new things, not enough old things, I guess. I also had a request to put up my video footage from Lahaina, and I'm going to give that its own video. I do have some video footage that I didn't put up while we were in Hawaii that I have. And given the horrible things that have happened in Lahaina in the last couple of weeks, I'm going to put that video footage up because you will get to see how Lahaina was before the devastating fire that ran through there. we loved Lahaina, David and I. So we were really upset to hear the bad news, and we really felt for the people of the community. Just taking Ubers back and forth, we met some Lahaina residents who told us all about their town, all about the area, how much they liked it. So it's really sad news. So look for video in Lahaina, video from the upcoming trip, video from my trip to Newport, Rhode Island, and other places, but I think I'm mostly just going to give you Newport, Rhode Island. Although there was a quick stop at a yarn store in Maine that I haven't put up yet. There is the next installment in this that you'll be seeing. And then head on over and check in on Unfinished Objects, because I have a twofer going up for that as well. All right, hopefully I can get all this done before I leave. I will see you on Saturday, maybe Sunday. Bye.